The bedroom clock glowed, 11:58 p.m. Peter Arkson lay perfectly still in bed, pretending to sleep. Through half-closed eyes, he watched his wife Jennifer slip out from under the covers. She moved quietly, carefully, like someone who had done this many times before. She paused at the bedroom door, looking back at him. Peter controlled his breathing, keeping it slow and steady. After what felt like forever, Jennifer finally left the room. Peter counted to 60, then sat up. His heart pounded in his chest. For 3 weeks now, Jennifer had been sneaking out of their bedroom every midnight, always to the garage, always for exactly 2 hours. And always, she returned acting like nothing had happened. At first, Peter thought he was imagining things. Maybe she couldn't sleep and went downstairs for tea. But tea doesn't take 2 hours. And tea doesn't require locking yourself in the garage. Tonight, he would follow her. Tonight, he would finally know the truth. Peter grabbed his phone and checked the time. 12:01 a.m. He stood slowly, his bare feet silent on the carpet. Their house in suburban Chicago was quiet, except for the soft hum of the air conditioning. Before we continue with the story, please subscribe to my channel. It takes just 1 second, but it means the world to me and helps me continue creating stories you love. Also, tap that like button. It really helps other people discover this channel. And drop a comment telling me what city or country you're watching from. Now, let's get back to Peter and Jennifer's mysterious midnight routine. He reached the staircase and looked down. A faint light glowed from under the garage door. His stomach twisted with fear and anger. What was his wife of 8 years doing in their garage every midnight? The possibilities running through his mind were dark. An affair? But who meets their lover in a garage? Drugs? Jennifer had never shown any signs. Gambling? Planning to leave him? Peter descended the stairs, each step careful and measured. When he reached the bottom, he heard something that made him freeze. Music. Very soft, but definitely music. And was that humming? He moved closer to the garage door. His hand reached for the doorknob, then stopped. Part of him didn't want to know. Part of him wanted to go back to bed and pretend everything was fine. But he couldn't. Not anymore. Before he could open the door, his phone buzzed. A text from his best friend Marcus. "Did you talk to Jennifer yet? You can't keep avoiding this conversation." Peter had told Marcus about Jennifer's midnight disappearances last week. Marcus had been direct. "Man, you need to confront her. This is not normal behavior." But confrontation had never been Peter's strength. In their 8 years of marriage, he and Jennifer rarely fought. They talked things through calmly, reasonably. But how do you calmly ask your wife why she's been sneaking into the garage every night at midnight? Peter put his phone on silent and reached for the doorknob again. The door was locked. The garage door from the inside. She had never done that before. They didn't even have a lock on this door until last month, when Jennifer insisted on installing one. "For safety," she had said. "What if someone breaks in through the garage?" Peter had thought it was strange but said nothing. Now he understood. The lock wasn't to keep intruders out. It was to keep him out. He knocked softly. "Jennifer?" The music stopped immediately. Footsteps approached the door. "Peter?" Jennifer's voice sounded nervous. "What are you doing up?" "I could ask you the same thing." Silence. Long, uncomfortable silence. "I'll be up in a few minutes," Jennifer finally said. "Go back to bed." "Jennifer, open the door." "Peter, please, just go upstairs." His anger flared. "You've been coming down here every night for 3 weeks. You lock yourself in our garage for 2 hours. You won't tell me what you're doing. And you expect me to just go back to bed?" More silence. "Are you having an affair?" Peter asked, his voice breaking slightly. "Is someone in there with you?" "What?" "No." "Peter, no, it's nothing like that." "Then open the door." "I can't." "You can't? Or you won't?" Jennifer's voice was quiet when she answered. "I'm not ready for you to see." Peter leaned his forehead against the door. "See what?" "Jennifer, you're scaring me. What's going on?" "I promise I'll explain everything soon. I just need a little more time." "How much time?" 2 more weeks, maybe 3. Peter straightened. 3 more weeks of this? 3 more weeks of you sneaking around, locking doors, keeping secrets. It's not what you think. Then help me understand, Peter pleaded, because right now I'm thinking terrible things. He heard Jennifer sigh deeply on the other side of the door. Peter, do you trust me? That question hit him hard. Did he trust her? Before 3 weeks ago, he would have said yes without hesitation. But now? I want to trust you, he said honestly. But trust works both ways. And you're not trusting me with whatever this is. It's not about trust, Jennifer said. It's about timing. It has to be the right time. Peter rubbed his face with both hands. I don't understand any of this. I know. I'm sorry. Jennifer's voice cracked. I'm so sorry for making you worry. But please, please just give me a little more time. I promise it will all make sense. Peter stood there, torn between demanding she open the door right now and respecting her request for time. After 8 years together, hadn't Jennifer earned some benefit of the doubt? But then again, after 8 years together, shouldn't she feel comfortable sharing things with him? Are you in trouble? He asked. Because if you are, whatever it is, we can handle it together. I'm not in trouble. Are you sick? No, Peter, I'm healthy. Are you planning to leave me? God, no. Peter, no. This has nothing to do with our marriage being in trouble. Then what? Please, Jennifer interrupted. Please just trust me for 2 more weeks. After that, I promise you'll understand everything. Peter closed his eyes. I love you, Jennifer, but this is really hard. I know. I love you too. So much. He heard the emotion in her voice and it softened his anger slightly. Whatever was happening, Jennifer was clearly struggling with it too. 2 weeks, Peter said firmly. That's it. After that, no more secrets. 2 weeks, Jennifer agreed. Thank you. Peter turned to leave, then stopped. Jennifer? Yes? Whatever you're dealing with, whatever this is, you know you're not alone, right? You have me. He heard a soft sob from behind the door. I know. That's what makes this so hard. Peter went back upstairs, his mind racing with possibilities. He didn't go back to bed. Instead, he sat in the living room watching the clock. At exactly 2:03 a.m., he heard the garage door open. Jennifer's footsteps moved through the house and up the stairs. He waited 10 minutes, then followed. When he entered their bedroom, Jennifer was already in bed, facing away from him. Jennifer? He whispered. I'm awake, she said quietly. Peter climbed into bed and moved close to her. I meant what I said. Whatever this is, we face it together. Jennifer turned to face him. Even in the dark, he could see tears on her cheeks. I know, and soon, I promise, everything will make sense. She kissed him gently, then rested her head on his chest. Within minutes, her breathing evened out as she fell asleep. But Peter lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, wondering what secret his wife was keeping in their garage. Wait, just to remind you one last time, as we go deeper into the story, please subscribe to my channel. Now, let's get back to Peter and Jennifer's story. The next morning, Peter woke up to an empty bed. He checked his phone. 9:47 a.m. It was Saturday, so neither of them had work. He found Jennifer in the kitchen making pancakes. She smiled when she saw him, but he noticed dark circles under her eyes. Good morning, she said cheerfully. I made your favorite, blueberry pancakes with extra butter. Peter sat at the kitchen counter. You look tired. I didn't sleep well, Jennifer admitted, flipping a pancake. But these should help. They ate breakfast together, talking about normal things. Jennifer mentioned her sister's upcoming birthday. Peter talked about the project at work that was stressing him out. They could have been any ordinary couple having any ordinary Saturday morning conversation, except nothing felt ordinary anymore. I need to run to the store, Jennifer said, clearing their plates. We're out of milk and coffee. I'll come with you. Jennifer hesitated. Actually, would you mind staying here? I'm expecting a delivery and someone needs to sign for it. What delivery? Just some things I ordered online, Jennifer said vaguely. Should be here around noon. After Jennifer left, Peter sat in the quiet house. His eyes kept drifting to the garage door. 2 weeks, he had agreed to wait. But could he really wait that long? He stood up and walked to the garage door. His hand rested on the doorknob. Jennifer had unlocked it this morning when she left. Peter could walk in right now. He could see whatever Jennifer had been hiding. She would never know. But she would know. And that would break whatever trust they had left. Peter pulled his hand back and walked away. He would keep his promise. 2 weeks. His phone rang. It was his mother. "Peter, sweetheart, how are you and Jennifer?" "We're good, Mom. How are you?" "I'm wonderful. Listen, I wanted to ask you something. Jennifer called me last week and asked about your father's old workshop tools, the ones from when he used to build furniture. She wanted to know if we still had them." Peter's attention sharpened. "She did? What did you tell her?" "I told her most of them were in our storage unit." "Why? Did she want to start a woodworking project? Did she say what she needed them for?" "No, but she seemed very interested in the table saw and the sanding equipment. I offered to have your brother bring them over, but she said she'd let me know." After the call ended, Peter sat thinking. Woodworking tools? What would Jennifer need those for? He pulled out his laptop and checked their credit card statements. Over the past month, Jennifer had made several purchases from hardware stores and craft supply shops. Nothing huge, but the pattern was clear. She was building something. But what? And why the secrecy? Peter's phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. "Did you find out what's going on?" Peter typed back. "Not yet, but I think she's building something in the garage." Marcus responded immediately. "Building what?" "I don't know. She asked my mom about my dad's old woodworking tools." "Man, this is weird. Are you sure she's not having an affair with a carpenter or something?" Peter almost laughed. "Jennifer? No way. She's not the type." "There's no type, bro. People surprise you." Peter didn't respond. He refused to believe Jennifer was cheating. Whatever was happening, it wasn't that. The doorbell rang. Peter answered it to find a delivery driver with a large box. "Peter Arkson?" "That's me." He signed for the package and brought it inside. The return address was from an art supply company. The box was heavy. Peter stared at it. He could open it. He could see what Jennifer had ordered. Instead, he carried it to the garage door and left it there. When Jennifer returned from the store an hour later, she saw the box immediately. "Oh, good, it arrived," she said, trying to sound casual. "What is it?" Peter asked. Jennifer picked up the box. "Just some supplies for a project." "What kind of project?" She looked at him, her expression torn between wanting to tell him and keeping her secret. "Soon, Peter. I promise, very soon you'll understand everything." She carried the box into the garage and locked the door behind her. Peter stood in the kitchen, feeling more confused than ever. Art supplies? Woodworking tools? Midnight sessions in the garage? What on earth was his wife doing? That night, Peter decided he wouldn't follow Jennifer to the garage. He would keep his promise to wait. But lying in bed, listening to her slip out at midnight, was torture. He grabbed his phone and texted Marcus. "I can't do this for 2 more weeks. I'm going crazy." Marcus called him immediately. "Then don't wait. Go down there and demand she tell you what's going on." "I promised I'd give her 2 weeks." "Screw that. She's your wife, not a stranger. You have a right to know what's happening in your own house." Peter sighed. "What if it's something bad? What if she's dealing with something difficult and I pressure her before she's ready?" "Or what if it's something you need to know about right now?" Marcus countered. "Stop being so passive, Peter. Stand up for yourself." After the call, Peter lay in the dark, Marcus's words echoing in his head. Was he being too passive? Too understanding? He got out of bed and walked to the top of the stairs. The light was on in the garage again. He could hear soft sounds. Was that sawing? Peter descended the stairs and stood outside the garage door. He raised his hand to knock, then lowered it. Raised it again. Lowered it. Finally, he turned around and went back to bed. But sleep wouldn't come. At 2:15 a.m., he heard Jennifer return to their bedroom. She climbed into bed carefully, trying not to wake him. "Can't sleep?" she whispered, apparently sensing he was awake. "No." Jennifer moved closer and took his hand. I'm sorry for putting you through this. Then end it. Tell me what's going on. I can't. Not yet. Peter pulled his hand away. I don't understand why. What could possibly require this much secrecy? Jennifer was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, Do you remember when we first started dating? You told me about your dreams. Peter frowned, confused by the change in subject. What dreams? You said when you were a kid you dreamed of being an astronaut, then a race car driver, then a professional baseball player. You had so many dreams. Jennifer, what does this have to do with? And I told you about my dream, she continued. The one thing I wanted to do more than anything else in the world. Peter closed his eyes, remembering. They had been dating for 3 months, sitting in his old apartment, talking late into the night about their childhoods, their hopes, their fears. You wanted to be an artist, he said softly. Yes, but you said your parents pushed you into business school instead, said art wasn't practical. And I listened to them, Jennifer said. I got my business degree. I got my job at the marketing firm. I became responsible and practical and sensible. And I buried that dream so deep, I almost forgot about it. Peter turned to face her in the dark. Jennifer, please let me finish. For 8 years I've been happy with you. I love our life together. I love our home, our routines, everything we've built. But lately I've been feeling this emptiness, this voice in my head asking, what if? She took a shaky breath. What if I had pursued art? What if I hadn't given up on that dream? Would I be a different person? Would I be more fulfilled? Peter reached for her hand again. You could have told me this. I know, but I felt ashamed. Here I am, 32 years old, with a good job and an overwhelming husband, and I'm having some kind of early midlife crisis about dreams I gave up 15 years ago. So the garage, Peter began, is where I've been trying to reconnect with that part of myself, Jennifer finished. I've been teaching myself to paint again, to create, to see if that dream still means something, or if I've outgrown it. Peter felt relief wash over him. That's what this is about? Art? I know it sounds silly. It doesn't sound silly at all. He pulled her close. But why the secrecy? Why midnight? Why not just tell me? Jennifer buried her face in his chest. Because I didn't know if I'd be any good. Because I didn't want you to see me fail. Because I needed to do this for myself, without anyone's opinions or expectations weighing on me. Peter held her tight. You could never fail in my eyes. That's exactly why I couldn't tell you, Jennifer said. You're so supportive, so encouraging. I needed to figure out if I actually had talent or if I was just chasing a childish fantasy. They lay there in the darkness, holding each other. So when can I see? Peter finally asked. Jennifer smiled against his chest. 2 more weeks. I want to finish the piece I'm working on. Then I'll show you everything. What are you painting? Something special, Jennifer said mysteriously. Something for us. Peter kissed the top of her head. I'm proud of you for pursuing this. I wish you had told me sooner, but I understand why you didn't. Thank you for being patient with me, Jennifer whispered. And thank you for not breaking into the garage, even though I know you wanted to. Peter laughed softly. You know me too well. They fell asleep wrapped in each other's arms. The mystery finally explained. Or so Peter thought. The next 2 weeks passed more easily. Knowing Jennifer wasn't hiding anything sinister made her midnight garage sessions easier to accept. Peter still found it odd, but he respected her need for creative space. At work on Monday, Peter told Marcus about Jennifer's explanation. Art? Marcus said skeptically. She's been sneaking into your garage every night for a month because she wanted to paint? She's reconnecting with a childhood dream, Peter explained. It's actually kind of beautiful. If you say so, man. Still seems weird to me. But Peter felt good about it. His wife wasn't having an affair. She wasn't sick. She wasn't planning to leave. She was just exploring her creativity. That Wednesday, Peter came home to find Jennifer covered in paint. Rough session? He asked, grinning. Jennifer looked down at her splattered clothes and laughed. I got a little carried away, but it's coming together beautifully. Can I see yet? One more week, Jennifer said, holding up one finger. I promise. Peter helped her clean up, and they spent the evening watching movies and eating takeout. It felt like old times, before the midnight mysteries began. On Saturday, they drove to Jennifer's sister Rachel's birthday party. The whole family was there. Jennifer's parents, her two siblings, various aunts and uncles and cousins. During dinner, Jennifer's mother Patricia pulled Peter aside. "How is Jennifer doing?" Patricia asked quietly. "She's great. Why do you ask?" Patricia glanced toward Jennifer, who was laughing with her sister. "She's been calling me a lot lately, asking questions about when she was a child." "What kind of questions?" "About her artwork from when she was young, about why we pushed her toward business school, about whether we still had any of her old paintings." Patricia's expression was troubled. "I'm worried we damaged her by not supporting her dreams." Peter put a comforting hand on his mother-in-law's shoulder. "Jennifer is fine. She's actually been working on her art again." Patricia's eyes widened. "She has? When?" "At night, in our garage. She's been teaching herself to paint again." Patricia's face lit up. "Really? Oh, Peter, that's wonderful. She was so talented as a child, so creative and passionate." "She still is," Peter said. "She's just been hiding it." After the party on the drive home, Jennifer was quiet. "Your mom told me you used to be an amazing artist," Peter said. Jennifer smiled sadly. "I was okay. She said you were passionate and creative." "I was a kid. Kids are supposed to be passionate about things." Peter reached over and took her hand. "It's okay to be passionate about things as an adult, too. You know that, right?" Jennifer squeezed his hand. "I'm learning." That night, instead of going to the garage at midnight, Jennifer stayed in bed. Peter woke up around 12:30 and realized she was still beside him. "Not working tonight?" he whispered. "I needed a break," Jennifer said. "Besides, I'm almost done. Just a few more sessions." Peter pulled her close. "I can't wait to see what you've created." "I hope you love it," Jennifer said softly. "I made it for you." "For me?" "For us. For our anniversary." Peter had completely forgotten. Their 8th anniversary was next week. "I'm so sorry, I don't have anything planned." Jennifer laughed. "Peter, I've been sneaking around every night for a month. I think I win the gift-giving competition this year." They both laughed, and then Jennifer kissed him deeply. "I love you," she whispered. "Thank you for being patient with me, even when I was being ridiculous and secretive." "I love you too," Peter replied, "and you weren't being ridiculous." The next morning, Peter woke up determined to do something special for their anniversary. If Jennifer had spent a month creating art for him, the least he could do was plan something meaningful. He called Marcus for advice. "Dude, you forgot your anniversary? After all this drama?" "I didn't forget exactly. I just wasn't focused on it. Because you were too busy worrying about your wife's midnight garage activities." "Fair point. So what should I do?" Marcus thought for a moment. "Remember that restaurant you took her to on your first anniversary? The Italian place with the rooftop seating?" "Giancarlo's. It closed 3 years ago. It reopened last month under new management. I saw it advertised. Make a reservation there. Full circle moment." Peter booked a table for Friday night, their actual anniversary. Then he went shopping. He found a beautiful art supply set in a wooden case. Professional-grade paints, brushes, canvases, everything an artist could want. On the card he wrote, "Never stop creating. I love you. D." That week seemed to drag on forever. Peter was excited to see Jennifer's painting, but more than that, he was excited to see her pursue something that made her happy. On Thursday night, Jennifer came to bed earlier than usual. "All done?" Peter asked. "Almost. Tomorrow night is the final session. Then it will be ready for you to see on our anniversary." Peter grinned. "I have something planned too." "Oh yeah? What?" "If you can keep secrets, so can I." Jennifer playfully hit him with a pillow. "That's not fair." They wrestled playfully on the bed, laughing like teenagers. It felt good to be connected again, to not have secrets hanging between them. Friday morning, Peter woke up nervous and excited. He had taken the afternoon off work to prepare. He picked up fresh flowers, stopped by the bakery for Jennifer's favorite dessert, and confirmed their restaurant reservation. When Jennifer came home from work, Peter was waiting with a single rose. "Happy anniversary," he said, kissing her. Jennifer's eyes filled with happy tears. "Happy anniversary. Are you ready to see your gift?" "Are you ready to see yours?" They both laughed. "You first," Jennifer said. "Come to the garage." Peter's heart raced as Jennifer led him downstairs. She had the key in her hand and was smiling nervously. "Okay, so remember, I haven't painted in years. I'm rusty. This might not be as good as I imagined it in my head." "Jennifer, I'm sure it's beautiful." She took a deep breath and unlocked the door. "Close your eyes." Peter closed his eyes as Jennifer led him into the garage. He heard her moving around, positioning something. "Okay," she said. "Open." Peter opened his eyes and gasped. The painting was huge, easily 6 feet tall and 8 feet wide. It covered an entire wall of the garage, and it was stunning. The painting showed their house, but not as it looked in real life. Jennifer had painted it in vibrant, dreamlike colors. The sky was purple and gold. The trees were silver and blue. The flowers were colors that didn't exist in nature. And in front of the house stood two figures, clearly Peter and Jennifer, holding hands. But they weren't painted realistically. They were impressionistic, made of swirling colors and light, as if they were made of pure energy and love. Around the edges of the painting, Jennifer had incorporated smaller scenes from their relationship. Their first date at the coffee shop, their wedding day, vacations they'd taken, quiet moments at home. Each memory was rendered in the same dreamlike, colorful style. It was beautiful. It was personal. It was perfect. "Jennifer," Peter breathed, "this is incredible." "You really like it?" Jennifer asked nervously. "Like it? I love it. This is the most amazing gift anyone has ever given me." Jennifer beamed. "I wanted to capture what our life together feels like. Not what it looks like, but what it feels like. All the colors and emotions and memories." Peter pulled her into a tight hug. "You captured it perfectly." They stood there, holding each other, looking at the painting. "So this is what you've been doing every night," Peter said, "creating this masterpiece." "I worked on it in sections," Jennifer explained, "starting with the house, then adding us, then all the little memories. It took every night of those 4 weeks, but I wanted it to be perfect." "It is perfect," Peter assured her. "Where should we hang it?" Jennifer's face lit up. "You want to hang it?" "Of course. This needs to be displayed properly. Maybe in the living room?" "That's a big wall space." "For a big, beautiful painting." Peter took her hands. "Jennifer, you're incredibly talented. This isn't just good for someone who hasn't painted in years. This is professional quality." Jennifer blushed. "You're malicious because you love me." "I am biased because I love you," Peter agreed. "But I also know art, and this is art." He led her back into the house and handed her the wrapped gift he'd prepared. Jennifer opened it carefully and gasped when she saw the art supplies. "Peter, these are professional grade. These are expensive." "Because you're going to need them," Peter said. "You're going to keep painting. This isn't a one-time anniversary gift. This is you reconnecting with who you are." Jennifer threw her arms around him. "How did I get so lucky to marry you?" "I ask myself the same thing every day." They went to Giancarlo's for dinner. The restaurant looked different than Peter remembered, but the atmosphere was still romantic. They ate slowly, talking about everything and nothing, enjoying being together. "I have a confession," Jennifer said over dessert. "Oh no, more secrets?" She laughed. "No, just something I haven't told you yet. When I started painting again, I didn't think I'd finish. I thought I'd do a few sessions and realize I wasn't any good anymore." "But you are good." "But I didn't know that," Jennifer continued. "I was scared that I'd spent all these years wondering what if, and when I finally tried again, I'd be terrible." And it felt amazing," Jennifer said, her eyes shining. From the first brushstroke, it felt right, like I'd been holding my breath for 15 years and could finally breathe again. Peter reached across the table and took her hand. "So what now? Are you going to keep painting?" "I want to, but I don't know what that looks like. Do I take classes? Try to sell work? Just paint for fun?" "Maybe all of the above," Peter suggested. "Maybe you explore and see where it takes you." Jennifer nodded thoughtfully. "My boss mentioned they're looking for someone to lead the creative design team. It's not fine art, but it's more creative than what I do now. You should apply." "I might," Jennifer said. "Or I might do something completely different. I might take a class at the community college, or join an artist collective. I don't know yet, but for the first time in years, I'm excited about possibilities." Peter raised his wine glass. "To possibilities, and to the most talented, secretive, midnight painting wife a man could ask for." Jennifer clinked her glass against his. "And to the most patient, understanding husband who didn't break into the garage even though he really wanted to." They both laughed. After dinner, they walked through the city, hand in hand, talking about dreams and plans and the future. The night was warm, the stars were bright, and everything felt perfect. When they got home, Peter stopped in front of the garage. "What?" Jennifer asked. "I'm thinking about where to hang your painting. The living room is too small. The dining room doesn't have the right lighting." Jennifer smiled. "I have an idea, but you might think I'm crazy. Try me. What if we convert the garage into an art studio? A proper one, with good lighting and space for canvases. I could paint during the day instead of midnight." Peter pretended to consider it seriously. "Well, we do park in the driveway anyway, and I've always thought the garage was underutilized." "Really?" "Really. Let's do it." Jennifer squealed and jumped into his arms. "We're going to build an art studio." As they went inside, both of them laughing and planning, Peter felt grateful. Grateful that Jennifer had found her passion again. Grateful that the midnight mystery had such a beautiful resolution. And grateful that after 8 years, they were still discovering new things about each other. Later that night, lying in bed, Jennifer said quietly, "Thank you for not giving up on me during these past few weeks. I know I was being difficult." "You were being human," Peter replied. "Sometimes we need space to figure things out on our own before we can share them. Next time, I'll share sooner. Next time, I'll trust you sooner." Jennifer cuddled closer to him. "I love you, Peter Arkson." "I love you too, Jennifer Arkson." They fell asleep peacefully. No more midnight mysteries to solve. No more secrets between them. At least, that's what Peter thought. But he was about to discover that Jennifer's painting was hiding one more surprise. One that would change their lives in the most unexpected and beautiful way. 3 days after their anniversary, Peter came home from work to find Jennifer sitting at the kitchen table with a strange expression on her face. "What's wrong?" he asked immediately. Jennifer looked up at him, her eyes wide. "Nothing's wrong. Actually, something might be very right, but also terrifying and exciting, and I don't know how to say it." Peter sat down across from her, confused. "Just say it." Jennifer slid a small white stick across the table. Peter stared at it for 3 seconds before his brain processed what he was seeing. A pregnancy test, with 2 pink lines. "You're—" He couldn't finish the sentence. "Pregnant," Jennifer completed. "I'm pregnant." Peter looked from the test to Jennifer and back to the test. "But how? I mean, I know how, but we've been careful. We agreed we'd wait a few more years before starting a family." "I know," Jennifer said, her voice shaky. But apparently life had other plans. Peter stood up and paced the kitchen. Okay, this is big." "Are you upset?" Jennifer asked quietly. "Upset? No. I'm shocked. I'm overwhelmed. He stopped and looked at her. "How do you feel?" Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. "Honestly, I'm terrified. We weren't planning this. I just reconnected with my art. I was thinking about changing careers, and now there's a baby coming, and everything is going to change." Peter sat back down and took her hands. Everything's already been changing. We'll figure this out together. You're sure you're not upset? Jennifer, I'm going to be a father. A smile slowly spread across Peter's face. We're going to have a baby. Jennifer smiled through her tears. We're going to have a baby. They both started laughing and crying at the same time, overwhelmed by the news. Wait, Peter said suddenly. When did you know? Is this why you've been acting different? Jennifer shook her head. I just found out this afternoon. I thought I had the flu, so I went to the doctor. They did a test and, surprise. How far along are you? About 6 weeks. The doctor said everything looks healthy so far. Peter did quick math in his head. So you were pregnant when you were painting? When you were spending all those nights in the garage? Jennifer nodded. I had no idea. I thought I was just exhausted from staying up late painting. Peter laughed. So our baby's first experience was watching you create a masterpiece. An artist from the start, Jennifer said, smiling. They spent the rest of the evening talking about the future, names they liked, how they'd convert the spare bedroom into a nursery, whether they should find out the gender or wait. It felt surreal and wonderful and terrifying all at once. There's something else, Jennifer said as they got ready for bed. Something I need to tell you about the painting. Peter looked at her curiously. What about it? Come with me. They went down to the garage where the massive painting still stood against the wall, waiting to be moved to its new home in Jennifer's future studio. Jennifer turned on all the lights and pointed to a section of the painting Peter hadn't looked at closely before. It was in the upper right corner, partially hidden by swirling clouds and colors. Look closer, Jennifer urged. Peter stepped forward and squinted. Hidden in the abstract swirls was a tiny figure. No, not just one figure, 3 tiny figures. They were painted so subtly that you'd miss them unless you knew to look. Are those children? Peter asked. Jennifer nodded. I painted them without really thinking about it. It was the last thing I added on that final night. I felt compelled to include them, but I didn't understand why. Peter stared at the 3 small figures holding hands between the painted versions of him and Jennifer. 3 kids? I painted 3, Jennifer confirmed. I don't know why 3 specifically. It just felt right. They stood in silence, looking at the painting with new understanding. Do you think, Peter started, then stopped, that I somehow knew? Jennifer finished. That's crazy, right? There's no way I could have known I was pregnant. But you painted children into our family portrait weeks ago. Jennifer touched her stomach gently. Maybe on some level my body knew. Or maybe it's just coincidence. Or maybe, Peter said softly, it's meant to be. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Jennifer had morning sickness that lasted all day. Peter became an expert at making ginger tea and keeping crackers by the bed. They told their families, who reacted with joy and excitement. Peter's mother cried happy tears. I'm going to be a grandmother. Jennifer's parents were thrilled but also emotional. We're so happy for you both, Patricia said. And Jennifer, I'm so glad you found your art again before the baby comes. You'll need that creative outlet. Marcus congratulated Peter with a knowing smile. See, the garage mystery had a happy ending after all. Though I bet you weren't expecting this particular ending. None of this was on my bingo card for this year, Peter admitted. They started preparing the house for the baby. Peter spent weekends painting the nursery a soft yellow color, neutral, since they had decided to wait and be surprised about the gender. Jennifer designed a mural for one wall, the same dreamy, colorful style as her anniversary painting, but featuring animals and clouds and stars. You're so talented, Peter said, watching her work. This baby is lucky to have such a creative mom. And such a supportive dad, Jennifer replied. One evening, as they were assembling a crib, Jennifer suddenly stopped. Peter, I've been thinking about something. Yeah? Remember how I painted 3 children in our portrait? I think about it every time I look at the painting, Peter admitted. They had hung it in the hallway where they could see it every day. What if it means we're having triplets? Jennifer said quietly. Peter dropped the screwdriver he was holding. Triplets? Did the doctor say anything about that? No, But my next ultrasound is in 2 weeks. They'll be able to see more clearly then. Peter sat down on the floor. Triplets. That would be overwhelming? I was going to say amazing. Overwhelming too, but amazing. Jennifer sat beside him. You wouldn't freak out? I'd probably freak out a little, Peter admitted. But we'd handle it. We handle everything together. The 2 weeks until the ultrasound felt like 2 years. Peter found himself staring at the painting constantly, counting the 3 tiny figures Jennifer had painted. Finally, the day arrived. They sat in the doctor's office, holding hands tightly as the ultrasound technician spread gel on Jennifer's growing belly. Let's see what we have here, the technician said cheerfully, moving the wand across Jennifer's stomach. The screen flickered with grainy black and white images. Peter had no idea what he was looking at. There's baby, the technician said, pointing to a shape on the screen. Peter and Jennifer both leaned forward. And, the technician moved the wand slightly, there's another baby. Jennifer gasped. Twins? Hold on, the technician said, moving the wand again. And there's number 3. The room went completely silent. 3? Peter whispered. We're having triplets? The technician smiled. Congratulations, you're having triplets. All 3 look healthy. Good heartbeats on all of them. Jennifer started crying. Peter started laughing. Then they were both crying and laughing at the same time. I painted 3, Jennifer kept saying. I painted 3 children, and there are 3 babies. Maybe you're psychic, Peter joked through his tears. Or maybe, Jennifer said, looking at him with wonder, some things are just meant to be. The doctor came in to discuss the pregnancy. Triplets were high risk, she explained. Jennifer would need more frequent checkups. She'd likely need to stop working earlier than planned. The babies would probably be born premature. There were risks to consider. But as Peter listened, all he felt was overwhelming joy. 3 babies, 3 lives, 3 new members of their family. We can do this, he told Jennifer as they drove home. We have to do this, Jennifer replied, laughing. They're already here. That night they stood in front of the painting together. How did you know? Peter asked softly. Jennifer shook her head. I didn't know. I just felt something. When I was painting, I felt like our family wasn't complete with just the 2 of us. So I added children. 3 of them, because that number felt right. 3 feels perfect, Peter agreed. They started preparing in earnest. The yellow nursery would need 3 cribs, not 1. They'd need 3 car seats, street times the diapers, 3 times the clothes, 3 times everything. Marcus came over to help build the additional cribs. Man, you don't do anything halfway, do you? Marcus joked. From 0 to 3 kids in one shot. That's how we roll, Peter said, trying to decipher the instruction manual. So is Jennifer still planning to do the art studio? Peter nodded. We're going to finish it before the babies come. She wants a space to create when she has time. Her mom is going to help with the babies so Jennifer can still paint. That's good. She shouldn't give up her dreams just because she's becoming a mom. She's not giving up anything, Peter said firmly. She's adding to her life. The art, the babies, our marriage, it all fits together. The months passed quickly. Jennifer's belly grew to an impressive size. She had to stop working at 7 months, earlier than expected. But she spent her time painting in the newly completed studio, creating artwork for the nursery. She painted 3 portraits, 1 for above each crib. Each painting showed a different scene, one with stars and moons, one with trees and animals, one with oceans and fish, all in her signature dreamy, colorful style. They're perfect, Peter said when she showed him. Our babies are so lucky. At 33 weeks, Jennifer went into labor. It was early, but the doctor had expected it. Triplets rarely made it to full term. Peter drove to the hospital, trying to stay calm while Jennifer breathed through contractions in the passenger seat. It's happening, she kept saying. We're about to meet them. I know, Peter said, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. We're ready. Are we, though? Jennifer asked between contractions. Are we really ready for 3 babies? Peter reached over and squeezed her hand. No, but we'll figure it out. The delivery was intense. Peter held Jennifer's hand through all of it, amazed by her strength. After what felt like forever but was really only a few hours, they heard the first cry. "It's a boy," the doctor announced. Minutes later, another cry. "Another boy!" And then the third. "And one more boy. Congratulations, you have 3 healthy sons." 3 boys. 3 identical boys, the doctor said. Triplets who looked exactly alike. Peter couldn't stop crying as he held each of his sons for the first time. They were tiny, each barely 5 pounds, but they were perfect. 10 tiny fingers, 10 tiny toes, little faces scrunched up in confusion about this bright, loud world they'd just entered. 3 boys, Jennifer said weakly from the bed, exhausted but smiling. "We have 3 sons." "Just like you painted," Peter said, bringing the babies over so Jennifer could see them. Over the next few days in the hospital, Peter and Jennifer marveled at their sons. The nurses put different colored bracelets on each baby so they could tell them apart: blue, green, and red. "We need names," Jennifer said on the second day. They had discussed names for months but couldn't agree. Now, looking at their 3 sons, the names came easily. "Thomas," Peter suggested, looking at the baby with the blue bracelet. "He looks wise, like he's studying everything." "Matthew for the green one," Jennifer said. "He's already so calm and peaceful." "And Christopher," Peter said, touching the red bracelet gently. "He seems adventurous, ready to explore." Thomas, Matthew, and Christopher Arkson. They're 3 miracles. The first few months at home were chaos. Peter took paternity leave from work. Jennifer's mother moved in temporarily to help. They worked in shifts. Someone was always awake, always feeding a baby, always changing a diaper. Peter learned to bottle feed 2 babies at once. Jennifer mastered the art of the speed diaper change. They moved through the days in a fog of exhaustion and love. "I can't believe we're doing this," Peter said one night at 3 a.m., holding Thomas while Jennifer fed Matthew and Christopher. "We're surviving," Jennifer corrected. "Barely, but we're doing it." "Remember when your midnight garage trips were the most mysterious thing in our lives?" Jennifer laughed quietly. "That was so simple compared to this. But you wouldn't change it, right?" Jennifer looked at their 3 sons and smiled. "Not for anything in the world." Slowly, they found their rhythm. The babies started sleeping for longer stretches. They grew and developed personalities. Thomas was indeed the studious one, always watching and observing. Matthew was gentle and calm, rarely crying. Christopher was their adventurer, always wiggling and trying to move before his brothers. On their first birthday, Peter and Jennifer threw a party. The house was decorated with balloons and streamers. Family and friends crowded into the living room to celebrate. Marcus pulled Peter aside. "You did it, man. You survived the first year." "We survived," Peter corrected. "Jennifer and I together. Remember when you called me freaking out because your wife was going to the garage every midnight?" Peter laughed. "That feels like a lifetime ago. And now look at you. 3 kids, happy family, living the dream." Peter looked across the room at Jennifer, who was holding Christopher while helping Thomas blow out his birthday candle. "Yeah," he said softly, "living the dream." That night, after the party was over and the babies were asleep, Peter and Jennifer stood in the hallway looking at the painting. "You knew," Peter said. "Somehow, you knew." Jennifer shook her head. "I didn't know. I just hoped. I painted what our family could be, what I wanted it to be, and somehow it came true. All from those midnight sessions in the garage. All from following a dream I thought I'd lost," Jennifer said. "From taking a chance on myself." Peter pulled her close. "I'm proud of you, for pursuing your art, for bringing our sons into the world, for being an amazing mom and wife." "I'm proud of us," Jennifer replied, "for surviving this crazy year, for supporting each other, for building this beautiful, chaotic, perfect life." They stood there, holding each other, looking at the painting that had predicted their future. 2 figures made of swirling colors, surrounded by 3 tiny children, all holding hands. A family created through midnight mysteries, unexpected surprises, and dreams that refused to stay buried. "What are you working on in the studio now?" Peter asked. Jennifer smiled mysteriously. "A new painting, another big one." "What's it of?" "You'll see. I'm thinking I'll need about 4 more weeks of midnight sessions to finish it." Peter groaned playfully. "Not more midnight mysteries." "Some mysteries are worth keeping," Jennifer said, kissing him. "Besides, you know you love the surprises. As long as this one doesn't result in more triplets." They both laughed. Upstairs from the nursery, they heard a baby start to cry. Then another. Then the third. "That's our cue," Jennifer said. Hand in hand, they walked upstairs to tend to their 3 sons, their 3 miracles, their 3 reasons for every midnight wake-up, every exhausting day, every perfect moment. As Peter picked up Thomas, he thought about that night weeks ago when he first followed Jennifer to the garage. How worried he had been. How convinced he was that something was wrong. He had been right that something was happening. But instead of something wrong, it had been something incredibly right. His wife had rediscovered her passion. They had created a family. And all of it started with a mystery in the garage at midnight. Sometimes, Peter thought, the best things in life come from the secrets we keep and the dreams we finally have the courage to pursue. Jennifer appeared beside him, holding Matthew and Christopher. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "Just how lucky I am," Peter said. "How lucky we are." Jennifer looked at their 3 sons and smiled. The luckiest. From the hallway, they could see Jennifer's painting, the one that had predicted it all. 2 swirling figures of light and color, surrounded by 3 tiny children, all part of one beautiful, impossible, perfect family.